Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and another superhero film in a long line of superhero movies, especially Marvel. Um, Black Widow. I've been waiting for this movie for a while and pretty excited to watch it. I remember when they first announced the Captain Marvel solo movie, and I was thinking, we have a lot of male superhero solo films, so why not some female solo superhero films? And at the same time, even though I was excited for the Captain Marvel movie, my thoughts of it have changed a little bit here and there. But I was thinking, that's great, but at the same time, shouldn't Black Widow get the first nod in terms of female superhero solo movies, because she's been there the longest? That's just my opinion. Anyway, Black Widow 2021. American superhero film based on Marvel Comics, got the character of the same name, Natasha Romanoff. Excuse me. Produced by Marvel Studios, and it is the 24th film. Excuse me. It's the 24th film for anybody who's still keeping count. I'm pretty sure one day I'm going to say this is the 50th film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And then, of course, multitude of TV series as well. Directed by Kate Shortland, and it stars, of course, Scarlett Johansson in what seems to be the her final appearance as Black Widow, Natasha Romanoff, and she stars alongside Florence Pugh, David Harbour, who is the comedic relief for this movie. Some guy called O.T. Fagbenley. I have no idea. I've never seen him anything before. He's, I think, a black British actor, probably Jamaican. He's an English actor who I have never seen in India before, not Jamaican. Nigerian and Caucasian mix, I guess. But I've never seen him anything else before. He too has a slight comedic approach to the movie, not really much, but yeah. Olga Kurilenko, William Hurt, who continues on from his role. Ray Winstone and plays the main villain, and Rachel Weisz. I was actually surprised to see Rachel Weisz in this movie. I must say, if you are new to this channel, new to my reviews, I'm going to keep the spoilers to as minimum as possible. So I'll give you my thoughts first, and then maybe mention a couple of the spoilers. I was surprised to see her in this movie because, to be honest, and this is something which you may not know if you haven't seen any of my videos before, but I tend to stay away from big movie reviews and even trailers. I kind of watch maybe one trailer, two trailers. Throughout the whole year, maybe I watch 10 trailers or maybe 20 trailers. I kind of avoid them as much as possible because sometimes the storyline is kind of spoiled in between, and then I avoid reviews and I avoid discussions online because I don't want anyone to spoil the movie for me, because for the most part I make up my own mind of whether I like a movie or not. So if people may not like a particular movie, but I might find that there is something interesting in it, and vice versa. I might find a particular movie which a lot of people like. I might not be all that chuffed about it. I might not be, I will feel like this is just an okay movie. But this one I did enjoy for the most part. So the main points about this movie, we do get to know now that she's got a, for all purposes, an actual sister called Yelena Belova. They aren't actually sisters, but they were raised initially by the same couple who were David Harbour's character is Alexei Shostakov, and Russian names are going to be difficult for me to pronounce. Rachel Weisz's character is Melina Vostokov, and she's also a Black Widow. There is this group of black or widows basically, who were trained in something known as the Red Room, which is I think it's in geosynchronous orbit around the maybe somewhere above Russia, and that's where the training goes on. So it's a very secret place, and most people's memories of it are kind of erased or things like that. So she is the sister figure, and she kind of holds a little bit of grudge that Natasha never actually came back to look for her, but they are in contact a little bit, and David Harbour's character and Rachel Weisz's character Melina and Alexei aren't actually married, but they pretend to be a married couple. So initially you see them along with these two girls pretending to be an American family somewhere in Ohio, was it? Yeah, somewhere like that. Yeah, I think it was Ohio. And then they infiltrating and finding details from S.H.I.E.L.D. and then going off back to Russia. The girls are separated and taken to the training camp. As we know, Natasha escapes and then defects to the United States, where she continues keeping on the mantle of the Black Widow, but she is fighting for S.H.I.E.L.D. and she is fighting for the Allies, and the Russian widows are there doing their own bidding. So my only question is, have they not come across these widows I mean, for that matter, not just Natasha, but the other Avengers or any of the other superheroes? Have they ever come across these ones? I don't know. I'll have to go back and check and see whether they've been mentioned in anything else. So yeah, we do get to know that Florence Pugh's character is gonna continue to be. Sorry about that. I had to cut that short in between. So yeah, as I was saying, Florence Pugh's character Yelena is going to be continuing on in the MCU, and she is possibly going to have a friction between a couple of Avengers characters. Possibly even in the television series that's going to come out. That is the streaming service. I think it's going to come out later on as Hawkeye. That's the one. I think that's the update that we have. Anyway, so then we cut back from that to present day, or rather not present day, but just after Civil War. Natasha is on the run, and she's on the hiding, basically trying to find a quiet place where she can stay and recoup and stay away from the radar. But yeah, she gets pulled in because Yelena Yelena, who's along with the other widows, are searching for a fellow widow who's actually defected or kind of like left, and she kills this other widow, but she is sprayed with a chemical that actually frees her the lock that the main villain for this movie, played by Ray Winston, is Dreykov. He's a Russian general and the head of the Red Room. So he's the one who has conceptualized these widows, takes all these promising young girls at a very young age, train them, and make them do his bidding as highly skilled warriors and soldiers, and even killing machines. And Dreykov's so Dreykov basically is hiding in the Red Room, thought to be dead, but yeah, so he is actually still alive and running things. The fight scenes are amazing. Let's talk about that. I think Scarlett Johansson does a absolutely fine job portraying a character who has kind of like been through the ringer. She's done a lot of things, she's not proud of earlier on, but she knows she's been doing a lot of good, and she just kind of like wants to be left alone initially, but then she gets dragged into this world she thought she had left behind, and has to go to Russia to meet up. Initially, first she meets up with Yelena, and then goes on to Russia, and has to meet up with her former parents in sort of thing, and then there's a reunion over there. There is some kind of like sweet moments over there, and like I mentioned, David Harbour kind of plays the comedic relief. So the whole head-to-head is going to come down to Black Widow meeting meeting Ray Winston's character Dreykov, and going head-to-head against the other widows, as well as one specific character who is absolutely amazing in fight. Now it's played by Olga Kurilenko, but I don't really know who's doing the stunts. They, the, the character looks very menacing, um, and even it's I don't really think it is the actress who's doing a lot of those stunts. She's got this character's got this helmet on with a skull face kind of thing that's etched onto it, and yeah, pretty awesome. So the fight scenes are pretty amazing. Although to be honest, I did get a little tired, and I have been getting a lot of tired with kind of like this move that Black Widow does with like jumping and then does the scissor thing on the head and then flipping people over. I think it's kind of like done and dusted way too much, and is kind of like boring after a little while. I've seen it happening so many times. They need to have a little bit of change in that particular thing. But other than that, she's pretty awesome. So yeah, and it's one of the things where I didn't like the fact that they killed her character off. I wish Scarlett Johansson could have continued in this role for a few more movies. But yeah, what can you do? But yeah, possibly it's going to be now sorry, what's her name? Florence Pugh, who I've only seen before in one movie, which is Midsommar, and yeah, I didn't like her in that movie, but here she's a lot better. So there's a lot of violence, good fights in this movie as well, with all the other widows and everything. So that's kind of like the thing that you need to see what happens towards the end. So I mentioned there's a couple of spoilers. There's a couple of scenes that I did like. I thought was amazing as to how spoiler alert, as to how Natasha is able to resist. Get through the fact that Dreykov has got this thing that he's got this pheromone that he's chemically altered, and that prevents any of the widows to actually harm him. And he's planted a like really weird sort of thing. I mean, I can understand something like a mind controlling chip or something like that, but the fact that this is what's mentioned is there, and the way that she gets past that is to break her nose so that she can't smell. And I thought that was like brilliantly done. I mean, even though I found it the concept I found it to be absolutely weird, it's still I mean, maybe there's some animal or something like that actually has it, and possibly that's where they got the idea from. But at the same time, brilliantly executed. Natasha Romanoff, like I said, Scarlett Johansson is amazing. So David Harbour, like I said, does a lot of the comedy stuff. He is supposed to be the counterpart to Captain America. He's a kind of father figure to both of them, but he is the comedic stuff. And he is supposed to be called as the Red Guardian. That's the name, yeah, Red Guardian, and he's got an outfit that's kind of like reminiscent a little bit of Captain America, but not really. But it's in red, and he's got the helmet, and he's put on weight, and it's a very different character that he plays from Stranger Things, as well as the only other thing that I've seen him in is of course the new Hellboy, which wasn't that great a movie, but yeah, you can't really blame him for that. I thought he was okay in that movie. It took me a while to actually get used to that movie, but at the same time, I did think that finally when I did manage to watch it completely, yeah, I was like, okay. One more thing, there's a small, after the credits, there is a small little scene, post-credit scene with Yelena mourning the death of her sister figure. So that part is basically set after the events of Endgame, but the rest of it is after Civil War, but before Infinity War. And you get to see Julian Louis-Dreyfus' character Valentina Allegra de Fontaine, who you have seen in the movie, in the series, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So good thing I did hear a little bit about this, that she was supposed to show up in this movie first. This movie was supposed to be was supposed to come out before the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but it actually is much better that we see her here second, and in that, because she kind of establishes herself a little bit, she's got a little bit more dialogue and a little bit more scene, in that, and now you kind of like understand who she is, what her agenda is. So she is getting like an, I wouldn't say like an anti-Avengers, but she is getting a squad together. Who's her boss? Who does she work for? Or is she the main boss? Is going to be revealed in much later, and I really like that. I like where they're going with it. It makes a lot of sense. Like I said, I mentioned this before. I haven't read the comics. I barely know. Like of course, I knew about Captain America. I knew about all the characters before the movies came out. Iron Man. I read about Thor and Iron Man and Spider-Man and all that stuff. But I don't know like a lot of the villains. I don't know anything. I didn't know anything about Shield. The only thing I knew about Shield was after the Avengers movie came out and all that stuff. So yeah, so that's pretty much it. And the so spoiler. I'm going to put the spoiler into things, but I haven't mentioned all the stuff. Of course, at the end, Black Widow is victorious. The character of who plays Dreykov's that daughter Olga Kurylenko, Antonia Dreykov, or the Taskmaster, she is also freed from her grip, and the remaining widows all bond together, and they come together to form a group, and they take her and they say that they're going to take care of her. So might be something interesting that they could do that, or maybe they can have them come up in some other movie, maybe go fight against the Avengers in some kind of a battle, or even the Milad, whatever that stuff is that is in the Black Panthers all women soldier group. They can have like a big fight or something like that. I don't know. It might be interesting to see what happens up next, and I'm really looking forward to more stuff from the MCU. Things are pretty interesting, and I like the way that especially with this, I really like the way that they're going with it. I think this movie has had some mixed reviews. I kind of enjoyed it quite a bit. I'm only going to give it an 8 out of 10 because I do think there were a lot of things they could have done better. But overall, I did enjoy it quite a bit. So I wouldn't put it up pretty high in the list, but still, I did enjoy it quite a bit. So anyway, I've been rambling on quite a bit about this movie, and I keep saying the word quite a bit a lot. So anyway, and I have been rambling quite a bit. Yeah, I have been rambling for a while. So yeah, take care, guys. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10, and I shall see you again pretty soon. Bye bye.